Hey everybody, Ricky here with Apple Valley Farm. Thanks a lot for hanging out for a few minutes with me. Today I'm making pallet flags. Well, we love making them, and I think this will be something that you can do yourself if you want to. Or we sell the pallet flags already made or as a kit, so you can just get the pallet and all the supplies with it all in one time, all in one thing, so you can just have everything right at your fingertips and not have to go to the store. Anyway, fixing to get at it now, and just wanted to walk you through it. The first thing we're gonna do is I've got my sander, got my Makita sander here, which I love. I've just got some 60 grit sandpaper on here. I'm gonna get a regular pallet. I'm gonna start with, I like using a cedar pallet if we can get them. Just simply because number one, they're light, and number two, the cedar wood is nice and fairly weatherproof. I'm gonna start with a cedar pallet, which we have. I'm gonna use some 60 grit sandpaper, and I'm gonna knock the rough edges off of it, and then here we go. So we'll start with a little light sanding, just knocking off the rough edges around the pallet. Then we're gonna measure off for our background for our field of stars. For this pallet, it's gonna be about 20 by 20 inches. And once we get everything measured, I'm gonna use a straight edge to mark off the edge. And actually, I see as I get down here, since the 20 inches has fallen in the middle of a board, I'm changing my mind. I'm gonna erase this. And I'm just gonna let the field of stars fall on complete boards. And then, also for the stripes, we're gonna go red, white, red, white, red, white, and red, instead of dividing those up. Now we're gonna use just a simple brush, some inexpensive paint. This is some stuff we got from Walmart. I like the navy and the red. Start out with our field of stars first, because this needs to dry, and you'll see more about this later. We're gonna liberally put the blue on there. It's gonna take a lot. This palette's gonna really soak it up. Then moving on to the red, again, liberally just put the paint straight onto the palette. You don't need a tray or anything like that. This wood is gonna soak this paint up. So just be gracious with it. Okay, I do this almost every time. I painted what was supposed to be a white stripe red. So now it's almost dry. So now I'm gonna have to try to cover it up. It's just extra. But, you know, if you do it, it's not the end of the world. Red? What red? Okay, so I'm gonna use a small brush now to go back and fill in some of the details. And this is just places we couldn't get with our big brush. After that, the field of stars background should be dry. So I'm gonna use this template that I printed out on the computer. I'm gonna lay this down, use some transfer paper, some white transfer paper, and I'm just gonna start tracing the stars one at a time, and you'll see as you lift it up, look at there. It's putting the stars right there where we need them. So we'll just do the tedious work of doing all of these. When you're done, you'll have all the stars. Now, we didn't use all 50 stars on this flag, but you may. Now we're gonna go back to our white paint. We're gonna get a smaller brush, and we're gonna start filling in our stars. And it's a little bit of a tedious process, but it goes pretty fast. You'll find your rhythm. You'll find the pattern for you that works the best. And like I said, it's a little tedious, but it'll go pretty fast, and before you know it, you'll be done. Now once we get all of the stars painted, give it a few minutes to dry, we're going to use our sander and we're going to go over everything. And we're going to distress this. We're going to distress the edges and the corners on the board. We're going to distress the stars like you saw we were doing. See here how I'm really using the edges and the corners of the boards, and I'm feathering that into the rest of the board. We just want to make it all look like it's been there a while. Once that's done, wipe everything down, get as much of the dust off as you possibly can. You can blow this off if you have it. Then for me, I use a spray-on polyurethane. You can use a brush-on if you want to, but I like the spray-on, and this will make the paint weatherproof. Well, that's it. A little bit longer than I thought this video would be, but actually still really didn't take that long. The total time probably was about 2.5 hours. Not that bad. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. If you want to get any of these pallet flags already made or get the kit with all the materials so you can do it all on your own, give us a shout or look us up on Facebook, on Instagram, let us know here on YouTube, or go to applevalleyfarmga.com, send us a message from there. That's it. Thanks. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Go make something.